Hand-to-hand combat, a fighting style that has been brought into the spotlight by the Ultimate Fighting Championship. UFC has taken the martial arts and sports world by storm through its display of talent, discipline, and work ethic amongst its fighters. But those involved in the sport know that training for their battle in the octagon not only requires them to be physically ready, but also mentally ready. It's this combination of muscle and mental strength that has caught the eye of FBI Director Kash Patel.
And Patel has floated the idea of the UFC and the FBI forming a partnership to help train agents. Having agents well-versed in mixed martial arts could potentially increase their readiness for responsibilities that come with the job. Now, this all comes as Patel, along with the rest of the Trump administration, look to lead the U.S. into a new age of law and order. Now, in the words of UFC ring announcer Bruce Buffer, it's time to welcome in Yoel Romero is a former UFC fighter, and Tim Kennedy is a former UFC fighter and Green Beret. Gentlemen, thank you so much to both of you for coming on. Yoel, I want to get your thoughts on this first. Do you think it's a good idea?
Good morning, guys. God bless you, everyone. Hello, Tim. I think it's a great idea. It's a fantastic, absolutely yes, because I don't know too much about that guy, about the Kash Patel, but I believe in Trump. I believe in the president. The president say it's a very good idea. The Kash Patel take he's the boss now for FBI. See, that the Trump say yes, he taking him in this position is because he has the talent. He has the very good mentality, focus for this position.
Yeah.
And now this guy say the FBI needed training. Needs only for the body. There's no training only about the physical. It's the mentality too.
Yeah.
Because the MMA fighters, specifically now UFC guys, we is the most prepared people for the fight, body to body.
Right. Yeah.
One to one.
It's a good point. I'm just limited on time there, Yoel. So I'll just pause you for a second to get to Tim. On this topic, Kash Patel, the FBI director, was recently at a UFC fight in Las Vegas alongside UFC President Dana White. There's the photo. So after the event, Dana White commented on the potential partnership between the UFC and the FBI. Here's that.
After he said that, my phone blew up. You know, everybody wants to be the trainers to the FBI now, so I got everybody hit. But he's dead serious about that. I talked to him about it tonight. Yeah, he's dead serious, so we'll see. We'll see how that starts to come together.
And Tim, it's an interesting perspective, I think, from you too, because you're a Green Beret, also UFC fighter. Are there any similarities between working within, as we take a look at some of the pictures you provided us in your service, and thank you for your service, by the way. Do you see some similarities in working in these two environments or trying to collaborate them to bring some of the aspects of both together?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think there's a misconception that the expectation is that we're going to be turning FBI agents into MMA fighters. That's not what we're doing. We are going to be instilling a warrior ethic in them. We're going to be giving them combatives and skills to save life. You know, the arrest and control, the use of force. The more force that you know how to use, the less ultimately that you have to use. You know, we could have avoided the whole entire disaster of the BLM movement had law enforcement officers been trained properly in combatives and about how to properly restrain somebody. But it does a really beautiful thing. It transforms the person into a warrior. You know, I'd much rather have a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So we're going to be giving these men and women at the Bureau the tools and skills to ultimately, of course, save and preserve and protect human life, but also we're going to be changing the way that they look at violence, and they're going to be much more restrained in their ability to use it. It's a brilliant move by Director Patel.
Now, really quick, Tim, I don't want to get off topic, but Tim and Yoel, did both of you fight each other? Is that correct?
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Tim, do you want to say something to him right now?
No. I think he's still sitting on a stool at this moment. So,
Yoel, your thoughts?
Um, I think it's many happen and court second. The referee say stay in the stool because too much Vaseline. That's what happened. But you know what? At the end of the way, I forget that time. I love him. I respect him. I say, God bless you. God bless you, USA. God bless you, your family, my brother. We stay in the same page.
We couldn't help but ask. But again, just for the little context, they both fought each other before.
I'm glad to
you
know
can guess
everything's okay between
maybe who won based on that conversation.
To get back on topic a little bit. So when talking about maybe, using UFC fighters, UFC trainers to train FBI agents, I know Tim brought up, different ways to bring down a situation without using lethal force. So when we think about that in the terms of weight classes, UFC fighters, they're trained for the weight class. They're trained to do specific movements to restrain specific people based off of how much they might weigh. So it doesn't get to the point where it becomes lethal force. So Yoel, I'm wondering, do you think that that's something that FBI agents can learn from UFC fighters?
Oh, yeah. I think we have many options for the help for the FBI people. Of course, yes. More check. The body is more in check because right now the people is too much aggressive. And when you go to the street, the people is too much aggressive. And the people, FBI needed very good condition for this situation. You never know. All right, with the FBI is not the same as the police, but sometimes have very extremist situation. And FBI needed to stay ready for everything what can happen. I think the training. For the training for MMA people can help a lot for FBI.
Yeah, and anything
That's
really
what I
can
think.
anything really can happen, as we've seen with FBI agents, and they have to be prepared for just about anything. The president of UFC, Dana White, is a close friend of President Trump. He's spoken at rallies for the president and even bigger events with the president. He was at the inauguration day. The president himself, here he is, attending UFC events. He's a big fan of the sport, which we know. Tim, I want to talk about that and seeing the president of the United States, there he is with Elon Musk, again, with Dana White, supporting UFC, and really seeing this sport grow and garnering the attention of this president.
The first time I met President Trump, he had come to New Mexico during the campaign in 2016, and he brought the Jackson Winklejohn fight team, myself and Cowboy Cerrone, and a few other people from the fight team to his event. And even though there's, donors that are donating millions of dollars to the campaign, and there's it seems like 100,000 people, though there's tens of thousands of people, he specifically just sought out the fighters. He loves fighters. He loves the spirit of the fighter. There's definitely the fighter spirit in him, as you've seen him in debates and in negotiations. He's there for it. But he's also a man that values loyalty above all else. And Dana White and President Trump have been loyal friends through highs and lows of both of their respective careers, through failures and success. And that value of loyalty and friendship is something that I think everybody that knows President Trump recognizes. And that is something that exists between UFC President Dana White and then the American President Donald Trump.
All right, we've got to leave it right there. Tim Kennedy joining us. Yoel Romero meeting once again on this screen. We do appreciate that, but in this screen only. By the way, you can catch Yoel Romero's fight coming up in Coconut Grove, Miami on March 22nd in Dirty Boxing. Gentlemen, thank you both, and best to you both.